Happy New Year's Eve, everyone, and thanks for clicking on Weather for Weather Geeks. We are wrapping up the year on a very busy note, and we've got a lot to talk about again today, so let's not waste any time. We'll get right to it. This morning we had a little clipper system move through, one of those weak little systems that typically comes out of Alberta or the prairies of Canada, swings through and brings us light amounts of snow. And this was kind of an overachiever a little bit. Some of us got over an inch worth of snow, in fact 2 inches in a few spots, reported this morning with that little system moving through. Most of us, we were kind of supposed to get a coating out of that, but it squeezed out a little more moisture than we initially thought. So we started the day on a snowy note. This afternoon, I'm recording this a little before 2:30. We've got some leftover flurries out there, sure, but not a lot going on. The most concentrated areas of snow are actually out over Lake Erie right now, and then another one kind of more scattered and disorganized a little closer to Pittsburgh. So you might see another snowflake or two for the rest of the afternoon, but for most of us, we're kind of in a holding pattern now between this morning's snow and the next round of snow, which will impact parts of the area starting tonight, but then especially as we get into New Year's Day and into Wednesday night and Thursday. All right, rest of the region, that system that's going to impact parts of the region tomorrow, it's starting to really get its act together out here across the Midwest, where look how cold it is. It's down in the single digits in a lot of spots. And look at these temperatures. These are mid-afternoon temperatures today up in the upper Midwest. It's as cold as 18 to 20 degrees below zero in the middle of the afternoon in northern parts of Minnesota, heading up into Canada as well. Remarkably cold, even for them, that's pretty cold in the middle of the afternoon. So a lot of cold air to be found. Really, the only warm spot compared to average in most of the country is central and southern Florida, although it's not bad out here in the plains. It's in the mid-50s in Denver this afternoon, so that doesn't sound too bad. All right, let's take off the current information. We're going to talk about what's going to happen as we go into the future. Let's start with midnight tonight, because, of course, a lot of us will be perhaps out on the roads, out celebrating with friends and family, and perhaps then heading home in the wee hours of the morning tonight. Here's what the radar generally should look like around midnight tonight as we ring in 2014. Steady band of snow out to the west. Now, even though it's not showing up on the model here, I could see where there's some flurries, some very, very light snow around at midnight tonight. Maybe just enough to cause a little coating, especially on sidewalks and driveways and parking lots, that sort of thing. So just be a little bit careful tonight if you're out and about late this evening into the overnight. A little bit of snow that might cause a few slippery spots. All right, that's midnight tonight. Then as a lot of us wake up tomorrow morning, and a lot of us probably sleep in New Year's Day. But anyway, here's tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. And this is when that steadier band of snow is going to try to push in. Now, tomorrow, during the daylight hours, the best chance of seeing some steady snow and some accumulation is going to be north of I-80. Notice the radar tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. has that steady band of snow. Here's Interstate 76, and here's I-80. A lot of that's north of Youngstown. Hardly a flake at all down towards Columbiana County. So that's at 7 a.m. Go to midday now. Here's noon tomorrow, and the little band may actually move a little farther to the north during the midday. So a lot of this is concentrated up towards the lake shore midday and afternoon on New Year's Day. So if you live up in Trumbull County, Mercer County, you might get a quick inch or even two of snow tomorrow morning, maybe early in the midday hours, before this band sort of starts retreating off to the north. The rest of us probably don't see much in the way of accumulation at all during the daylight hours tomorrow. Here's the predicted radar tomorrow evening at 5 p.m. Notice not much going on here across the Mahoning Valley. Most of it's up to the north. Ashtabula County, Crawford County, and up towards Erie and Cleveland. Now, this is just one model I'm showing you, but the other models have a similar idea. The idea being that some parts of the WFMJ viewing area might have a small accumulation of snow on New Year's Day, particularly in the morning and particularly north of I-80. So that's kind of the idea we're going to go with for New Year's Day during the daylight hours. Here's tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Again, most of it is off to the north. But as I zoom things out, you'll notice what we have going on off to the west. Tomorrow evening at 7 p.m., our steady band of snow extends back through here. What's going to happen then tomorrow night and into Thursday morning is this is going to pivot east like this. And so all of us, the entire viewing area, will get into some steadier snow as we get into Thursday morning. I'll switch sources here and head over to Thursday morning at 7 a.m. Here's the GFS model. Here's the NAM model. some timing differences here. The NAM model has that steadier band of snow, the darker greens here, trying to push in about 7 a.m. on Thursday, whereas the GFS kind of isn't quite as impressive looking. But, I think the bottom line here is that we've got a pretty good chance of seeing several hours of steady snow Wednesday night, especially late, and then into the morning and the midday on Thursday. And then we'll see a tapering off from west to east Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. Sure, there's going to be some snow flying around second half of the day Thursday, but it's not going to be as steady and not going to be quite as, easy to accumulate as earlier in the day on Thursday. We're left with just flurries then through Friday morning. The big story as we head towards Friday is going to be the cold. All right, how much snow are we talking? If you saw my weather blog this morning, ericwfmj.com, I posted a lot of details on this. I'm going to show you a few of the same things here. The idea that we kind of threw out there yesterday morning as a first initial guess still looks pretty good. An average of 3 to as much as 6 inches, with a lot of us probably closer to 3 or 4 than 6. But here's one of those things I like to show you that looks a little complicated, but I'll try to explain it the best I can. This is basically an ensemble computer model. In other words, they take a computer model, they tweak the initial weather conditions in the model, and then run it over and over again, each time having slightly different initial conditions. And what this gives us is kind of a range of possibilities for many different things, but one of those things is snow accumulation. Each line that you see out here represents a different run of the model. So what we have going on here is a range, basically, of possibilities, anywhere from as little as a little under 2.5 inches of snow down here to, on the high end, 15 inches of snow out of this computer model. Now, notice how far apart the lines are up at the top here, meaning there's very few runs of the model that have that 15-inch idea. The average of all of our models is down in here, this black line, or real dark blue line, and that is a little under 7. That average is being influenced a little by all these really kind of outrageous numbers up here. So even though the average is pretty close to 7, I think that's still a little too high. I think, notice how tightly packed together the lines are down here, which means most of the runs of this model are finishing in that zone, which is a little closer to 4 or 5 inches. So that spells good things for our forecast. Here's the GFS accumulations. When you see anything that's blue, that's 2 inches or above. Anything that's purple, that's 6 inches or above. Notice the 6 inches, really not influencing much of our area, going along with the idea that 3, 4, 5, that's what a lot of us are going to get. European model here, similar idea, about 4 inches or so, most of the Mahoning Valley. Best chance for 6 will be up towards Erie, maybe Crawford County as well. And finally, here's the NAM model, the North American model. Now this has a little more snow. The purples do get down to northern Trumbull County with this, but most of the WFMJ viewing area is firmly in the blue here, which means anywhere between 2 and 6 inches. So, overall these models are spelling good things for our forecast. I'm pretty comfortable with our 3 to 6 forecast that we're going to have out, with most of that 3 to 6 occurring Wednesday night into the morning and midday, maybe early afternoon on Thursday. All right, we're up over 8 minutes here, so I'll try to move along. Temperatures. Once we're done with the snow, that becomes the story. I think we've got 2 waves of cold coming. The first one arrives Thursday night, and here's a look at the European computer model projected low temperatures Friday morning. And I apologize if the numbers are a little hard to see because the colors on this map are a little dark, but anywhere we have white colors here, or gray, that's below 0. A lot of places below 0 up in northern Pennsylvania Friday morning. Now around Youngstown and most of the Mahoning and Shenango valleys, we're going to be flirting with 0. Some backyards may slip a little below 0, but I think a lot of us are going to be down to 1 or 2 degrees, maybe 0, maybe 1 below Friday morning. Here's Saturday morning. Now yesterday we were advertising that Saturday morning may be the colder of the 2 mornings, and I think that's still possible. The European model here has a zone of below 0 temperatures up in the snow belt, closer to maybe 4, 5, 6 degrees above 0 in most of the greater Youngstown area. I think when all is said and done, both mornings are going to be pretty similar. Many places flirting with the goose egg mark Friday morning and again on Saturday morning. And then next week, this is when things get a little bit outrageous. Now, here's the European model, which, like yesterday, is a little bit, kind of crazy with how cold it makes it. This is Tuesday morning, with a projected low temperature of 18 below 0 here in Youngstown, Tuesday morning. I think that's way too cold. That said, I think, -5 to maybe -10 is going to be realistic in a lot of the area Tuesday morning and again Wednesday morning. So we're talking about a week from right now. A lot of time to fine tune that forecast, but I think some of our coldest weather in at least a few years is likely for a couple of days about a week from right now. All right, thanks for watching an extended version of weather for Weather Geeks. Check out my blog this evening, ericwfmj.com. I'll have more on the forecast, but also I'm going to have a nice review of 2013 in weather here in Youngstown. I'll have lots of cool charts and graphs if you're into that sort of thing. So look for that this evening. Have a great New Year's, a safe one, and I'll see you back here tomorrow.